After 33 years, the search for Etan Patz has not stopped.
The question is really this: how did a little boy in such a big city disappear? Well, as it turns out, it may have all played out in just a few city blocks. May 25th, 1979. It's a Friday, and 6-year-old Etan Patz is upstairs in his family's third-floor apartment getting ready for school. He comes straight out this door all decked out in a corduroy jacket, pants, and a kid's pilot hat. He can't wait to get to school. For the first time, Etan's mom and dad are allowing him to walk 2 blocks down the street this way to get to his school bus stop all by himself.
It was the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and this was going to be one of his last opportunities, and they finally relented and said he could go.
It's just after 8 a.m. According to author Lisa Cohen, Etan's mom kisses him goodbye and watches him walk toward the bus stop. Everything seems fine, so his mother runs back upstairs to take care of her 2-year-old son. This is the corner where Etan was heading to meet the bus. We're just 2 blocks away from their apartment. I can still see it from here. But Etan never made it. At the end of the school day, when he didn't come home, his mom calls police.
By that time, several hours had passed before anyone had any idea that there was something wrong. Those were crucial hours for an investigation.
Etan's dad, frantic, starts grabbing photos of his son to show to people in the neighborhood. Investigators interview the parents and start canvassing the area for the youngster. See that traffic light? That's the bus stop, and right here we are just a block away. This is where the FBI is now digging up that basement, a basement where a carpenter used to have a workshop. Way back when, more than 30 years ago, police did search that basement, but they did not dig it up. Now, the FBI is trying to figure out whether the key to Etan's disappearance was right here all along.
Investigators searching the New York basement for clues about the 1979 disappearance of this 6-year-old boy have ended their digging at the scene after nothing conclusive was found from a 4-day excavation, a law enforcement said on Sunday. Etan Patz was one of the first missing children in the United States to have his photograph printed on milk cartons after he disappeared, and his case helped fuel an intense national campaign in search of missing children in 1980. The revival of the search on Thursday by the FBI and New York Police Department raises hopes of a breakthrough, but ended without finding any bones or obvious human remains, said the source, who was informed on this matter but declined to be identified because of the sensitive nature of the case. The search in the Patz location has concluded and there was nothing conclusive found, the source said. A stain on the wall is being tested in a laboratory, but it's inconclusive what that's about. The digging has been done. There were no bones or obvious human remains found. However, an FBI spokesman insisted a team would be back at the site in the trendy Manhattan neighborhood of Soho on Monday. The search is going to continue and we're not done, and we'll be back out there tomorrow, said Peter Donald, an FBI spokesman. The stain, described as a spot on a wall, was found on Saturday in a basement that was used by Handyman as a workshop at the time of Patz's disappearance. According to another law enforcement official who asked not to be named because the investigation was continuing, the boy was formally declared dead in 2001. Investigators recently reopened the case and began tearing apart the basement, looking for clothing and human remains after a cadaver-sniffing dog sensed something at the site. Investigators found the stain by spraying the site with luminol, a chemical that can help indicate the presence of even trace amounts of blood, among other substances. In 1979, Othneil Miller, then a handyman, used the basement as his workshop. Less than a block from Pat's home, an apartment in which Pat's parents still live. Investigators recently interviewed Miller, who has not been charged with a crime. Miller's lawyer has said his client was not involved in the boy's disappearance.
Attorney Othneil Miller, who the family of Etan Patz said was a good boy, a good friend rather, of little Etan. He is saying through his lawyer that he had nothing to do with the boy's disappearance and that he's terribly torn up about it. And he issued through his attorney strong denials that he had anything to do with the boy's disappearance, and so did Mr. Miller's daughter. Listen.
Mr. Miller has been cooperating with this investigation for over 30 years, and he has continued to cooperate on multiple occasions, and I'm going to assist him in cooperating to the fullest extent possible.
The FBI has been here to investigate the case. He cooperated with them, went to the site, and he doesn't have anything to do with it.
In fact, Mr. Miller is not being called a suspect by the FBI, nor has he been charged with any crime, but they have been questioning him. Law enforcement sources tell me that he did say something odd during the course of that questioning, which was, what if they move the body? Rob?
A woman who answered the door at Miller's red brick terrace home in Brooklyn on Saturday deferred all questions to Miller's lawyer. On May 25th, 1979, Pat's parents allowed the boy to make his first unaccompanied trip to the bus stop 2 blocks away, and he was never to be seen again. No one was criminally charged in the disappearance, but in 2004, the Patz family won a $2 million civil judgment against Jose Antonio Ramos, a former boyfriend of the Patz babysitter who has denied any involvement in the disappearance. The sum has not been paid to date yet. Ramos was convicted of a child molestation in a separate case and is serving a prison sentence in Pennsylvania. His sentence is due to expire this year in November.
Susan, I mean, it's been so long, 1979. Why are they searching it again 33 years later?
Well, in part, it's because of some of the information they had from Mr. Miller. They went back and questioned him. We're told that this initially began because they had revived the case back in 2010, the district attorney's office. And they based this search on some old information and new information. Mr. Miller, we are told, is not the only person they've been talking with, and there may have been others that led to them getting enough information to successfully get a search warrant to look inside this basement.